What up, family? It's your boy Amadu back with another review, and this time I'm reviewing It Chapter 2. Now, we start the movie 27 years after the events of Chapter 1 with Mr.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me.
himself, Isaiah Mustafa, playing an older version of Chosen Jacob's Mike Hanlon. He calls all the members of the Losers Club to come back to town because apparently Pennywise is back and wasn't killed in the first chapter. As the Losers Club is reunited, Mike is the only one who hasn't blocked out his childhood memories, because we learn that the farther away you get from Derry through time and space, the more and more you forget about your past. Then one by one, each loser must relive a forgotten encounter with the dancing clown in order to find a way to finally finish him off for good. Now, first and foremost, this movie is long, like endgame long. Like, you got sick and tired of the end of The Return of the King long. Alright, cool. Cool. Oh. Okay. There we go. Mother. The fuck? This gotta be it, right? Yeah, this gotta be it. This is the credits? Bruh! This is it, right? Yes. Finally. I'm done. No. There's at minimum 20 minutes from this movie that should have been cut that would have moved it from good to great. And those 20 minutes needed to be cut from the beginning. They spend so much time using exposition to try to catch us up on what the losers have been doing that the movie falls into the trap that most horror films fall into. The audience gets really grounded in the reality of the story, and then some fantasy element comes in that we weren't prepared for, and it's outlandish and over the top. And when the deaths come and the horror comes, we can't take it too seriously because we were taken out of the movie. So in the first 20 or 30 minutes of it, you take that left field fantasy element I wasn't ready for and combine that with some really out of place supporting characters. I was beginning to worry that I was gonna react to it the same way I reacted to Final Destination 2. Oh, bad. Luckily, the film quickly finds a groove where it leans into a balance of humor and horror that's a true part of each character's nature. So throughout the film, we get flashbacks going from the young Losers Club to the older Losers Club, and the combination of both allows us to really get a fuller and deeper look into each of the characters. Probably a lot better than we got in Chapter 1. So as we get to relive each loser's forgotten memory one by one, we go back and forth from the older Losers Club and flashback to the younger club. And even better than in Chapter 1, this allows us to get a deeper understanding of the characters as a whole. Which brings me to arguably the best casting decisions I have ever seen in my life. This is Exhibit A and B and C for why there should be a Best Casting Director Oscar. I have rarely seen older actors being matched pitch perfectly to their younger counterparts. James McAvoy expanded on the leadership and guilt of Jaden Martell's Bill from Chapter 1, really nailing the stutter that exhibited Bill's anxiety that a lot of people didn't really get from Chapter 1. But it also seemed like he had a lot of practice with this because it seemed as if James just took one of the alters from Split and used that to do the role. But anyway, Jessica Chastain gives us a more vulnerable version of Sophia Lillis's Beverly that we didn't really explore in the first movie. Greg from Power is a dead ringer for Wyatt Olive Stanley. Jay Ryan weirdly looks like an older version of Jeremy Ray Taylor's Ben, and really does a good job capturing the wholesomeness of that character. Mustafa was the big surprise to me, being the only member of the club who didn't have the luxury of forgetting their childhood trauma and the trauma of dealing with this clown. He really honed in on what that can do to a person when you have to live with something like that for so long. But the standout losers were James Ranson as Jack Dylan Grazer's Eddie and Bill Hader as Finn Wolfhardt's Richie. The two of them kill it on screen together, bringing a spark to every scene they're in. They are the reasons that the balance of humor and horror works so well in it, with Hader especially overwhelmingly proving that his award-winning mixture of drama and comedy in Barry isn't a fluke. And lastly, Bill Skarsgård continues to prove he was born to play this role. He is the creepiest and funniest dude on screen. And that brings me to my thoughts on Pennywise as a horror villain. Slight spoilers coming, you've been warned. Why is Pennywise the most inefficient horror villain I have ever seen? I mean, Ghostface, Leatherface, Jason, they put on a mask, they killing people. But Pennywise spending all this money on set design, costume, makeup, and special effects just to go 2 from 7 from the field? He didn't spend 27 years focusing on these 7 people just to end up with a 28.5 field goal percentage? And one of those he can't even claim. Dude took himself off the board. So that's more like an assist. You can't count that as a bucket. You had all these opportunities over 27 years with all these resources at your fingertips to kill these people, and you shoot worse than Russell Westbrook from the three-point line.
What?
Come on, fam. Just wasteful. In the end, director Andy Muschietti carries the audience through 1,000 pages of story with sweeping shots, dazzling special effects, unique use of the de-aging technology, and a score that oscillates from creepy to kooky, piecing together each member of the Losers Club puzzle to build momentum to a very satisfying and surprisingly weighty cinematic end to a very weighty book. It Chapter 2 started out at a 7.5, but by sure will and another 2 hours and 20 minutes of entertaining storytelling, it pushed itself to 8.5 out of 10.
I heard you. Nope.
Yeah, that's still a no. Alright, family, that was my review for It Chapter 2. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below about the movie, whether or not you like Chapter 1 better than Chapter 2 or vice versa. I personally like Chapter 2 better, at least after those 20 minutes that I have talked about again and again. As usual, the written review is in the link below. Please comment with your thoughts, share this with your friends, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.